Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health System's Community Sports Institute, in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time Sports. Very glad to be joined here by Mr. Chandler Guidros, of course, your host, Keith Whiteside. Chandler, head baseball coach over at South Lafourche. Welcome and thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for having us.
All right, very good. Listen, fourth year, you start when COVID starts. Let's talk about how challenging that was for you as a head baseball coach.
And look, I mean, it was rough. We had, I'll never forget that day when it happened. It didn't feel like we'd be back in a couple of months,
Right.
even that soon into it. And, having 18-year-old men crying in your arms, especially the start that we had. We were 7-2, ranked 4th in the power rankings in Class 4A. And it was a special group that really bought into my vision for the program. And, everything we've accomplished since then is because of the foundation that those kids laid.
Yeah. And so very, very interesting you mentioned that because this happened right in the middle of your spring baseball season. And then we've got that challenge with COVID. But again, you talked about the fact that they were able to lay a foundation even without being able to play a full season.
Correct.
Incredible.
Correct. It was. And it's just a special group of kids. And I still keep in contact, talk to those guys all the time. It was a special bond that we formed, and that was probably the tightest group that I've ever gotten to coach.
Okay. Let's move forward a little bit. You go through another year or two of COVID, and then Ida hits.
Yep.
Tell me what it was like for this program to really kind of be impacted by Ida.
Well, what was tough is knowing what we had coming back. We were a quarterfinal team the year before and won our first district title in, at the time, 37 years that we split with Vanderbilt in 2021. And we had a really good team coming back. We had, 7 starters off of that team. We had a 15-man senior class. We thought that we had something really special to look forward to.
15 senior class.
So, yeah.
Wow.
And then that's what they had to start their senior year with was, Category 4 hurricane. And we all went through it down here. But that group was just so special. And it's, a shame that a lot of their preparation into their season kind of got taken away from them.
Yeah. So moving forward, what you were able to do with that same class, let's talk about last year, the best year in South Lafourche history?
Yes, the first time that we've ever won the outright district title in any district we've ever competed in. So it was a great marking for our program, especially the district that we were in with, 2 state champions.
Right.
And then Assumption, who was ranked 3rd going into the playoffs, just a special district. And for those kids to be able to accomplish being named champions in that district during the regular season was very special.
Wow. Anything that you learned from either the program or your kids last year that you feel like we can use moving forward?
Yeah, just that, going, no matter what you go through, nobody's ever going to feel sorry for you. You cannot feel sorry for yourself in any aspect. And, South Terrebonne was a program who was able to accomplish a lot last year, too. And that was what was so admirable about them is, and us, we're in the same boat no matter the circumstance. Our kids never made excuses, and we went out to work every day.
And in a place where you could have really had some. In a place where you could have really said, look, we got this happening to us, we have that happening to us, it's not working. Y'all were able to overcome all those things and to be able to get to the point where South Lafourche had never gone before. Pretty incredible.
Right, and it was, and it helps to have very good baseball players, and and they were. It was a great group, and they were able to overcome a lot for sure.
Yeah, well, they probably would tell me they had a really great coach, and so that's a really good thing. Let's talk about the facilities, because that's one of those things that we know are still being impacted by our area, the buildings and the facilities. Talk about where the baseball field is with regards to South Lafourche.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're still operating with half our batting cages. We still have 2 down, and our backstop is currently being repaired. We don't have a backstop right now, so hopefully before the start of the season, they're really working tirelessly. The school district and the contractors have done a wonderful job, and so hopefully that gets repaired. But yeah, right now we're kind of operating, still a little hampered, but we're doing the best we can.
Maybe, just maybe, we can take some of those lessons that you talked about with the grit of this team from last year and what they were able to accomplish with the challenges. Maybe, just maybe, that's one of those things they'll overcome. Maybe move forward, a step forward. Is there some goals that you have for this program this year?
Yeah, our goals never change. We want to hit a certain win mark. 19 wins is always our goal going into the season. We want to be the team standing at the top of the district standings. Whether district means as much with PowerPoints anymore, to us it does. It's something that it's right in front of your face, a championship that you can win. So we want to compete for that.
Right.
And then our goal is always to get to that regional round of the playoffs. That's once you're in the playoffs, you're one of the top 8 to 12 teams left, anything could happen,
Right.
as we very well saw last year,
That's
so
exactly right.
you just got to get into the dance, and anything could happen once you're in the tournament.
Yeah, we see what those dances look like once you get there.
Yes, sir.
One of those guys couldn't be with us today. Talk a little bit about the South Lafourche softball team. You and I both know his name's Philip by church. We call him T-Phil.
Yeah.
And so T-Phil's one of those guys that brings a lot of passion. And so tell me a little bit about your experience with Phil as y'all are coaches together in baseball and softball.
Yeah, and Coach Bychurch, they overcame a lot last year. They didn't really get to have home night games. Their facility got torn up as well, but they overcame a lot. T-Phil's a great guy, good coach, and he's been at South Lafourche in different stints in different sports.
Right.
Throughout the years, going back to when I was in school, to make him feel old. I hope he hears this.
he is old because he's
Yeah.
older than me. So
Yeah.
so I know T-Phil's that age.
But
But a great ball player
Yeah.
over the years and a great coach in different sports, which is amazing to see.
Yep, absolutely. Very versatile, works hard, and is really passionate, and really does everything he can to give those girls a great high school experience.
Yeah, and I know he's got one of those unique experiences where he works in one place and helps coach in another. We see that a little bit more often now, and so we know he couldn't be with us. We wanted to honor you, T-Phil, by saying hello and a little shout out to the South Lafourche girls softball team that we're thinking about y'all. Some final thoughts about what you really see good in your team this year.
Look, it's a group that didn't have a lot of experience last year, but they're hungry. They're very talented. We've had a lot of success in our first 2 scrimmages. It's about them growing and getting acclimated to the speed of the varsity game, and if they could acclimate quickly, I think that we could do some very good things this year.
Very, very exciting. So, Coach, I can't thank you enough for coming on and spending a little time with us. Thanks for sharing some of your time with the softball team and what they do as well. We're really looking forward to what you've been able to build here in these last 4 years, and more importantly, maybe what you've been able to accomplish last year, despite all those things that you had to overcome. So, congratulations. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you very well in the coming season.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate y'all time.
We wish you well as well, T-Phil. That'll do it for this edition of Bayou Time Sports. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.